now to a man whose story is almost too shocking to believe. At just 19 years old, Ryan Ferguson was wrongly convicted of murder. He served nearly a decade in prison, all the while maintaining his innocence. Then, a little over a year ago, on his last appeal attempt, Ryan's conviction was overturned. He writes about his experiences in the new book, Stronger, Faster, Smarter. Ryan, good morning. Good to have you here.
Good morning, Matt. Great to be here.
How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Just trying to get back into life and figure out my place in the world.
Well, and we're going to talk about that. The
Yes,
book
sir.
is fascinating. When you first went to prison, you admit that you had the anger, you had the resentment, you had the bitterness. How long did that last, and what turned the page for you? How did you get past it?
It lasted years, and I realized that it was only hurting myself. So I started to read more. I started to work out more. I started to take care of my mind and my body, and life really began to change for me and get better. So I just kept moving down that path.
You staying fit was really about survival.
Absolutely.
In prison. You had a very difficult time with a cellmate. There was a murder in a cell just a few cells down from you. So was this as much about surviving emotionally as it was getting fit?
It was mostly surviving emotionally and physically, and as time went on, I realized that this is a great quality of life, and I wanted to be able to share that with other people.
You started writing the book while you were in prison. Did you have hopes that it would eventually reach an audience, or did you still harbor the fears that you would linger and spend the rest of your time in that prison cell?
I definitely had fears. Nothing is given in our legal system, and that's it's not about fact. It's not about reality and what the laws actually say. So sometimes you never know what's going to happen. And I figured I would write this book regardless of what's going to happen in my future. I'm going to get out someday. I'm going to prove my innocence, and this book is going to be there to help people when I am.
That news, when it finally reached you, that on your last appeal attempt,
Yes,
that finally the courts looked and said, wait a minute, this conviction needs to be overturned. Yeah. Were you mentally prepared to handle that news? I'm sure it was hard to be mentally prepared to handle the news that you might stay in prison longer, but did it take some getting used to that you were getting out?
It still takes getting used to. I didn't know if I was actually going to get out when I got that news. I was somewhat skeptical, and a week later, I ended up getting out. And even then, it was strange being free again after a decade. I had missed my 20s. So coming back out into the world was a very scary prospect, and I'm still trying to figure it out.
You mentioned you missed your 20s. I mean, and I would imagine it would be harmful to dwell on that, but I don't know how you can't dwell on that.
You just try to move forward in life, and I always look at like the 30s are the new 20s, right? So I got a lot I want to do in life, and it's just about focusing on the day and not really worrying about the past and what you missed. It's just trying to bring the best future possible.
Well, talk to me a little bit about what you have a girlfriend now. You've got this book coming out. What else is on your list? You have a lot of catching up to do.
I do. I train at CrossFit ATC in Fort Myers. It's a great gym, so that's a big part of my life. Keeps me happy, keeps me going. We have a documentary coming out with Andrew Jenks, so we got some good news on that in the future, I hope within the next week or so.
Might you spend some time with others who are incarcerated who claim their innocence and who you believe are innocent?
Absolutely. That's the main component of my life right now, is trying to expose the parts of our legal system that need help. And it's a great legal system, but there are a lot of innocent people that are stuck in it. And exposing the truths and realities that they're facing, I think that's the most important thing, because if it's hard to get a person out, it's very easy for them to go in. So if we can stop people going in who are innocent, I think that's the biggest thing. And we need accountability for police and prosecutors.
Any lingering anger?
There is. There's a lot of anger, and I'm actually writing a book about that right now, because I believe you can take that anger and that negativity and turn it into positive action. And that's what my whole life is really geared towards, is whether it's my fitness or helping other people, the legal system, it's using that energy that could be very destructive and making life good and helping other people.
You certainly set off on that road, Ryan. It's good to see you.
Thank you, sir.
Pleasure to have you here. Thank you,
Matt.
and you too. And again, the book is Stronger, Faster, Smarter.